Hello everyone, my name is Quang. My name is Tommy. I'm 10 years old. Today I'll talk about science in lesson 95 in 4th grade. And first, I will review about the structure of the Earth. This is the North Pole, the South Pole, the Northern Hemisphere, the Southern Hemisphere, and these are line of longitude and these are line of latitude. The equator is a latitude. It is a latitude line, but it is long as a longitude. And soil horizons have 4 layers. They are the humus, which are dead and decaying organic matter that is in the soil. And this is the topsoil, and the best topsoil contains a mixture of sand, salt, and clay, which is called loam. And the subsoil is more tightly packed and with not rich nutrients. And under that subsoil is the bedrock. And the bedrock is made of rocks crushing tightly to each other. And these are folded mountains. And folded mountains form when 2 plates crush together. And the Himalayas is a type of folded mountains. And these are fold block mountains. Fold block mountains are mountains that when two plates crash into each other, one plate makes like a slide, and it makes the other plate goes up while the plate itself sinks down. And the fault is where 2 plates meet, and where the most earthquakes are average. And this is a volcano. This is the vent, and magma inside of the earth is hot liquid rock, but when it went outside, it is called lava. And there are 3 common types of igneous rocks. There are granite, pumice, and obsidian. And this is sandstone, this is limestone, and this is shale. And there are sedimentary rocks, which are formed by the flood. And these are metamorphic rocks. The slate is once shale, but as the heat and pressure affects it, it becomes slate. And marble was once limestone, but when it is highly polished and under enough temperature and when it is under enough temperature and forces, then it will make marble. Today I will talk about fossils in rocks. And fossils is when the impression or the remains of an animal. And fossilization is uh, the progress which dead animals became fossils. And there are two other words to remember. There, transitional form and sauropod. And today I will talk about fossils in rocks. And fossils are the impression that a dead animal leaves when it died in the wilderness, and sedimentary rocks are forming. And fossil shows a catastrophic events that in an animal's life, which causes it to be fossilized. And there's even a fossil about a fish eating a fish. And fossil can be found in unique places. On the highest mountain top of the earth, which is Mount Everest, there is even marine fossils like sea lilies and fishes. And when those animals die, they leave an impression. And you will know that as every place on earth, the Himalayas was once underwater, and that could have been how the sea lilies and castrobites got there. Sea lily and ammonites. And even dinosaurs, which are the sauropod, which are the largest land creatures ever to be heard of, to be real in the wild world. And I will read fossils in rocks. If you're ever on a road trip with your family, look for places along the road where rocks have been plastered out and carved away to make room for the road. You will see layers of sedimentary rocks in these areas. Much sedimentary rocks is formed in the sea, and yet we find the sedimentary rocks on almost 75% of continental land. Sediments are formed in liquid. How do you suppose the continental land got its sedimentary rock? Creation scientists believe that it is easy to explain when we consider that Noah's flood covered the entire planet. The destructive events triggered by the flood would have caused mountains to split up and volcanoes to erupt, spouting lava, ash, and rocks everywhere. There would also be a massive amount of organic matter from dead plants and animals. For months, the flood waters turned all this matter together until it settled into layers of sediments. These sediments turn into sedimentary rocks. There are billions of fossils buried in the sedimentary rock layers. A fossil is a remain or impression of a living thing most often found in sedimentary rocks that has hardened. Fossilization is rare today because unique conditions have to be presented for a fossil to form. What normally happens to an animal's body when it dies in the wild? Scavengers break up the carcasses, eating what meat they can find. Decomposers break down what remains and return nutrients to the soil. A plant, animal, or footprint can be fossilized only if it has been buried at the same time sedimentary layers are forming. It would have to happen very quickly. The fossil record shows a sudden catastrophic event. Some of the animals have been fossilized in the middle of a meal. All over the world, scientists find clam fossils with shells clamped tightly. Clams only do this when they are in danger and want to protect themselves. Looking at the fossil shows scientists a live action picture of an event in an animal's life. Scientists are always finding fascinating things when they study fossils. Animals from different habitats are often buried together, such as when sea creatures are buried with land creatures. Creation scientists are not surprised by this. During the flood, all the kinds of animals would have been buried together. Did you know that fossils are even found on mountain tops? The highest mountain on the earth, Mount Everest, has ocean animal fossil at its peak in sedimentary rocks at its peak. The rocks that make Mount Everest have had to be underwater at one time. Can you think of what time mountains were underwater, covered with water? Mount Everest is part of the Himalayas, which are floating mountains. Just like every other places on Earth, the Himalayas were once under the waters of the flood. Creation scientists believe that the Himalayas were lifted up as softer, saturated land, and sediments folded up together when crystal states move. The fossils in the sediments move upward along with the rapidly forming rock. Another fascinating fossil find is the dinosaur tracks and eggs buried in sedimentary rocks. The tracks are unusual because they are always found in straight lines, often as in search of higher ground. Animals run in straight lines only when they are afraid and running away from something. Land animals, and even reptiles, shelter their eggs in some way after laying them. Some make nests, others bury them. Yet the fossil records show piles of dinosaur eggs laid without any shelter. Could it be that these animals have no time to shelter their eggs because they are running away from a catastrophic event? There's one kind of fossil that scientists have not been able to find. There has not been one true transitional form in fossil evidence. Evolutionists use the term transitional form to describe the missing link between two kinds of animals to show how one kind of animal could have turned into another kind of animal. Scientists have never found a fossil of the missing link between a whale and a dog, or a reptile and a bird. Why do you suppose transitional forms have not been found? God fully designed and created each kind of animal. There may be different variations within a kind of animal, such as different breeds of rock, but a dog cannot evolve into another kind of animal. Fossils are fascinating because they help us study the animals that were living in Noah's time but are now extinct. Even after surviving a global flood, animals that left the ark would have entered a world very different from the one they lived in before. The climate would have changed. Habitats could have been lost or changed, and some animals might have experienced a food shortage. Whatever's the reason, some animals, such as dinosaurs, become extinct. Imagine what it was like for Noah and the people of his time who lived with dinosaurs. Some were very small, but some were very large. Sauropods fossils show that these dinosaurs were the largest land animals that have ever lived. Some sauropods are taller than a five-star building, which is about 50 feet. There are many species of sauropods, but they have a common design: a very long neck and tail and column-like legs. And this is a microfossil experiment, and you need some celluloseous sponge, scissors, bowl, hot water, Epsom salt, spoon, and plate. And you may want to cut your sponge into the shape of an animal or a bone. Stir Epsom salt and hot water together in a bowl. Place the sponge in the bowl so that it can soak up the salt water. Wait 1 day. Take the sponge out of the water and place it on the plate. Wait 3 days. What happened? The sponge hardened in a similar way to the way the fossils harden. Fossils can quickly harden if they are buried in sediments with the right chemicals that can fill up the fossil's face or spores. Scientists call them petrifying chemicals. The Epsom salt acts as a petrifying chemical to harden your sponge so it fills its air holes. And I will do the comprehension check. Sedimentary rocks is found where the road is blasted out. For the fossils are found in sedimentary rocks. The conditions that must be presented for fossilization to occur is they have to have a petrifying chemical, some hot water, and other things. We know Mount Everest was once underwater because God's word tells that everything was underwater. Why has a true transitional form ever been found in the fossil record? Why do you suppose God engineered sauropods with column-like legs and such a large tail? They have large tails to balance themselves because their neck is so long, and if the tail is short, then they would fall head over toe, toe over head. And if they don't have column-like legs, then they would probably can't support the weight of their body. And a true transitional form has not been found in fossil record because God designed each animal in a unique way. And that is all I want to talk in this science lesson. Thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.